In the shadow of decay I rise, Typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With Nurgle's rot I lay walls to waste, the Reaper's scythe no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with the twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperial's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Language howl, the gassing walls, pestilent tides, new life is born. Nurgle's passing, a twisted grace. I embrace your heart in my cold embrace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, no let to defend. I am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast, and we've got Mr. Dave with us today. Welcome back, Dave. Been away.
Hey, how's it going?
You've been away a little bit, haven't you, Mr. Dave?
Yeah, just down to Dorset in the UK, just down to the south coast to kind of just go and hang out for a little bit and chill out. It's yeah, all good. Nice to be back. I feel like I've been off the air for months. Which might be a good thing for the rest of the audience. I don't know, but
It's probably been like a week at tops, probably. But it does feel like a long time. Even I was like, this feels really long. So yeah,
how are you, man? You good?
I'm not too bad. Yeah, I'm happy. Obviously, had a good result with Deathwatch Chosen last weekend. So had a quiet weekend now. Not had a game of Warhammer, just to sort of like get out the system. But we thought we'd got free evening, so we thought we'd jump on for a stream. Obviously, Saturday is not a usual stream night for us, but we just thought we'd hop on and just basically give you a little cheeky one. We let our members vote for the topic, and well, this is the topic we got. We got the Death Guard faction matchup tier list. So yeah, there you go. Question coming. I was gonna ask. Right, I was gonna ask.
I've just turned it up.
There we go. That. Oh god, yeah, you spiked hard. Then that's nice. There we go. Let's set myself up.
Stephen, tell me if that's Stephen Dennison. Say if that's better.
There we go. We just want to both be reaching that yellow area. That sounds good. There we go. Okay, happy days. So, yeah, so we're going to be doing a tier list tonight. So we're just going to go through the factions, and we're going to just, obviously talk about how our matchup is into them. We've got our tiers on the table. So you've got Bongulated. These are matchups that we absolutely smash into the ground. They have no chance at all. Easy peasy is that you have massive advantage in this game. As long as you don't do something really stupid and play like a lemon, then you should have a good, chance of winning this one. Then we've got Time to Think, which is, okay, this is like even matchup, even Stevens, we've got to play well, they've got to play well, better player will usually come out on top. Then we've got Oh God, which is, again, matchups that are slightly disadvantageous to us, that the pressure's on us to try and make something happen to win. And then we've got Please No, which is obviously the opposite of Bongulated, where we are expected to get bent over and spanked sideways, which is, a little bit rough. So, Dave, I suppose we can just get started, this, can't we?
Should we just go down it like left to right?
Yeah, let's go left to right. So, Dave, AdMech.
Bongulated.
Yeah, Aeldari. I'm going to say Bongulated. Yep. You.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Bongulated. Yep. Blood Angels. Bongulated. Yep.
Yeah, totally. Knights, easy peasy.
Yeah. Tau Empire. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, Bongulated. Yeah. Demons.
Yep. Yep. Custodes, demons. Yep. Stop there.
Yeah. Drukhari, Gene Stealer cults, easy.
Yep. Death Guard is a mirror that has to go in the middle.
That could go in. That could go in. Yeah. Astra Militarum.
Yeah, Bongulated. Yep. No issue right there. Yeah.
What about Space Marines?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Easy peasy Bongulation there.
Yeah, nice. Space Wolves.
Yeah, okay, Space Wolves. Yep, we're going straight up to Bongulated. Yep, no chance.
Yep, nice. I think Grey Knights.
I'm just going to save us some time here, Dave. I think we've actually got quite a bit that are going to go up here. Yeah. I'm just going to come up here, and we got. Let's just keep going. We want Imperial Knights. Yeah. Grey Knights. Yeah, not even a chance. Yep. Even with that new book, it's not going to save them. Votann. I haven't got a codex yet. No. Dave. Imperial Agents.
Please no. I mean,
yeah, that is a hard matchup. Like, I don't want to take on an Imperial Agents player. I'm not gonna lie to you there, Dave.
There's only ever one of them, and they always do really, really well.
Yeah, they are pretty. They are pretty scary. Ooh. They are pretty scary.
Well, Aiden, well done. I mean, that was pretty hard. That was pretty hard to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, it took us a bit to deliberate where everything should go, but I'm quite happy. Like, nice. We got there in the end. So, I mean, that bit.
Anything you want to add?
Like and subscribe, and my headphones are flashing red. That means the battery's about to die. So this perfect timing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks everyone. And I guess tune in next week.
Yeah, stay around. Catch you later. Bye.
Yep.
We're only messing, of course.
Not. Like, no, that wouldn't have been a particularly fun stream for anybody, would it?
No, exactly, it would not have been. So I have reset the old tier list there.
Yeah, no worries. Hello, everybody. How you doing? As if we wouldn't start off by talking to you lot.
Exactly. That's how you knew it was a ruse all along.
Exactly. You knew it was.
Commit to the bit. I was so tempted to hit the end stream button and then just start up a new stream that was like version 2, like revisited or something like that. So we don't wait. So go on, Mr. Dave. Check in with the chat while I find this headphone charger.
I will. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? As Aiden said at the beginning of the joke part of our intro, welcome to another episode of the Discussing Resilient podcast. I'm really happy to be back and jumping on with Aiden tonight to talk about how do we match up into people now? The good news is we are in a strong place. I know we just had a bit of a laugh there. We are in a strong place versus a lot of the armies. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to talk about this a bit, like what happens if we some changes happen and perhaps we are losing a unit here or there, and does that change how we end up matching up into certain people? And if so, I guess we can discuss what that unit might be, perhaps, or what we're going to have to scale back on to kind of deal with it. So that's just a little bit of a setup, but to jump back into it. Oliver, first there, how you doing? Hugh, I know you've jumped off, but if you watch this on catch up, we missed you, buddy. Nat, really great to see you in chat, obviously. What a surprise that you're here. I hope you're doing well. Have a look. Last Criminal, Wimac, Trance, Ola, Mr. Orange. How's everyone doing? Wimac, when will Aiden have the cheese eating stream? Now, I'm going to give you a bit of background on this. I did post Aiden the cheese. I went and bought some nice cheese. I put it in the post to him. I paid for absolutely guaranteed next morning delivery. Aiden, when did the cheese turn up?
About 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, and to be clear, I posted it 10 days ago. So the real reason that this isn't happening is Royal Mail than anything else. Netcross, how you doing? I hope everyone's doing well. We've had Jamie in there. Good evening to you too. Wow, JB123564 is clearly one of Aiden's extra created membership accounts to push up the subs number. But hope you're doing well. Alfie, you're doing well. Hans, anyone else I've missed so far? Thorba, good to see you in here. Stephen Denison, thanks. I'm glad you liked our little joke at the beginning. I don't know if you heard me just explaining a bit more about how we're really going to do this then.
Yes, I did, don't worry.
Yep, perfect. So if there's anything you want to add to it before we kind of jump in, yeah, over to you, buddy.
Not really. I'm just recreating the thing because when I reset it. So.
Okay. And just a warning for everyone, my food arrived at, like literally late, but just for doing so I might occasionally just mute my mic and take a bite of something.
Yeah.
But here for the stream.
Yeah, so just be aware. We are going to replace the cheese. So like I'm just going to go out tomorrow with Nat and pick up some cheese. Dave has got me a lovely selection that we are going to replace. So there is no issue with Royal Fail. I may also pick up some crackers as well. Because if I'm going to suffer, I might as well enjoy some part of it, which is a good old salt and pepper cracker. Yeah. So let's actually get into. So again, chat. Feel free to join in tonight. It does obviously help having you guys here to give your opinions on things. It's a good way to chat
completely.
with the stream and whatnot. Also, if you please do leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoy the channel. And obviously, if you really enjoy the channel, you want to get into our group Discord, all that kind of stuff, you can consider becoming a Plague Marine member. It is $2.99 a month, but you don't have to stay a member to stay in the Discord. We don't do it that way. So once you're in once, you're in forever.
Yeah.
So if that's something you want to get involved in, click the join button below and give it a thought. About that, just hit a like. It helps us grow a lot. So, Mr. Dave, thank you very Chukanori for the 9 months of membership with the cheese. So I think it was some Gouda. What did you get me? Some Gouda? Was it brie?
Some Gouda. I got you some brie, and because it was majoritively because people had mentioned it too much, I got you some Wensleydale. You know, because we had to go a bit Wallace and Gromit. That might be the only one that I think of. I know you have a massive aversion to cheese as it is, but I think even of those, that might be the one that you're like, I'm not such a fan on. But the other two, I think you might not mind too much.
Okay, fair enough. We shall see. We'll see. So yeah. So where do you want to start then, Dave? Is there any matchup here that you specifically have a strong feeling towards, or definitely have quite happy time against?
I guess maybe we should get some of the more complicated discussions out of the way. And I think if we maybe talk to perhaps Grey Knights or Black Templars with upcoming releases and whether they change in the mix is kind of a good start point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I was to have done this like yesterday, Black Templars would be straight into Bongulage here. I was not scared of that army at all.
No, not at all. I don't care how many you bring.
Yeah, the power armor army that doesn't have many invuls that has to run towards me. Yeah, okay. Now,
yeah, exactly.
The codex made it a lot scarier. However, it is still at its core a power armor army that doesn't have even its elite unit sword brethren don't have invuls. That has to get close, and it hits real. Don't worry, it hits real hard right now, but it still is a free up save army mainly.
Yep.
When we against an army that is known for doing well into those melee matchups. Has answers to melee matchups. Like if these become the next big thing, we can then tech into that. We can bring foul blight spawns, things like that. We have answers to it. So I think it's not bongulated anymore. I don't think it's free, but I still think advantage is with us.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, I've no doubt that you still will get excellent players who can do well with that army, and I think hopefully you'll see. I hope, as we've talked about this loads before, I hope the book brings people who loved Black Templars but weren't playing them back to the table with them, because it's just always good to see people playing their armies.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree with you. Fundamentally, it's a power armor army which we do not struggle to destroy.
Yeah, though you do have to be a little scary now. Their repulsor execution's got a lot better. They do have a lot of like lethal hits, sustained hits, and like crit 5 ability. So, and they can spam mass 1 damage chainswords like a madman if they want to. So just be aware, like you fight first is going to be quite important. Your actual toughness is going to be quite important because again those chainswords are only strength 4. So even though they do have lethal hits, like again, if they're only wounding you on 60s and lethal hits, it's still not exactly great for them. So just, I think, again, it's going to be one of those, it depends the impact they make on the meta, but this is an army that if it was, or from next week, to become meta, I still think we have a fairly decent game into, and I still think advantage on it. Same with World Eaters, like, World Eaters, even when they're really good and really strong, I always feel like it's not really something I ever really struggled with, because again, Death Guard just naturally as an army preys upon these, like, power armor melee matchups.
Yeah, agreed. And you know, even with these guys, I know lethals is going to go straight through, etc. But you could also quite happily take -1 into them as well if you want to make them just hit swing and miss even more, and then just the attritional basis with our toughness on top is just gonna eventually just break them down.
Yeah, also really funny, having Blight Lords firing from the event at weekend, having AP3 flamers. Then you can, like, if we start bringing along Predators, because I expect a little drones and stuff to get nerfed, that's now an AP4 flamer. That's going to kill Marines pretty quickly, I'm not going to lie.
Flamers that give them no save is terrifying.
It definitely is. So yeah, Black Templar's going to go there. So on the other hand, though, Dave, Grey Knights.
Yeah, really interesting one. So I've been away, so I've seen much of the updates about kind of bits coming through the book, but Grey Knights have always been that tricky bit where their mobility is really good, like the ability to just get out of the way, score easily, drop in where they need to. You've got to screen them because you don't want, Grandmaster Dread Knights kind of dropping down and then blasting stuff that you need to keep safe. I think they've now got. I think one of the things I did see is that they've got now effectively a melter weapon.
Yes.
On the Grey Knights, right? So that is now a very easy way to pop tanks or to pop drones potentially, things like that. So if they get some more bodies, for me the biggest problem they've always had is there's never been enough of them on the table.
Yes.
And they've been and yes they've always there's 2-up saves all over the place and so but you just concentrate stuff down and you're like remove that unit, and the army falls apart once it's lost kind of 4 units. And I've always found that's a problem with them. So if the book starts to fix some of that stuff, then they could start to become a much more of a challenge.
Yeah, they are a 2+ skew in terms of save, which is not really an issue for Death Guard because again we slap them down to a 3-up save just by standing near them, and then that does also better. Yeah, exactly. Even fucks with cover at that point because you can't go from a 3-up save back to a 2-up save. Their Dread Knights are only like toughness 8, so going to toughness 7 is kind of brutal because now all those Death Shroud win them on 2s with Lance, so they will absolutely murder them if you get a touch. It's all going to come down to depend on because the mobility is still there. We've 100% know that. Mobility is still there, and they've even got more tricks in some of the detachments now to be even more mobile. Like, they have one where they can, when they pick up at the end of your turn, they can refuse to pick up a unit, and then in their command, at the end of their command phase, they can spend a CP to pick up the unit they didn't pick up. So they can see the secondaries first and then pick up.
Okay,
which is
cool.
It's very interesting. So they've got play, but the biggest problem they're still going to have is all their melee is pretty much damage 2, power out the Dread Knights, so -1 damage absolutely dumpsters that, which is really good for us. The Dread Knights themselves, the new options they got are dog shit. Like 10 attacks at strength 5, AP 1/2 damage. Ooh, I'm so scared. So yeah, but that being said, they are still a very good army in terms of like scoring and getting around the place. So it does kind of come down to points. This one. It's at the start of movement. It's not CP. Okay, sorry. It's a detachment rule.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very, very good. It's still
amazing.
It changes the timing on the pickup is the main thing, and it's still very good. So I'm going to put Grey Knights in 50-50 because Grey Knights in the past have been problematic when they actually are good. It all going to depend on the points and what the shooting output's going to be like. The melee output, I'm not that worried about.
No.
The shooting output, and it depends if the Dread Knights are still capable of doing the amount of shooting they have. But we do again have plenty of flexibility into that. It's just going to be a case of if the Grey Knights player is really good and they can dance around the place and do everything properly, they're going to have a good time against us because we're slow. But if they make a single mistake, they let slip a unit get into contagion that they thought wouldn't, so now you can get a 6-inch deep strike off. That unit's just getting killed. Like, anything we touch is pretty much getting absolutely murked. So, I'm going to put in 50-50 for now, Dave. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think until we know more, I think that's a good place to put it. Not because we can't kill it, but if it's super hypermobile has always been the antithesis of us.
Yeah.
So if it's able to kind of be as movement shenanigan as it was, or if not even more, then you're still at risk of losing on the points.
Exactly. Thank you very much. We got some people coming in, so thank you for the 22-month super chat from Mr. Strongboy. I'm at a horse show, can't watch right now, but may Carl bless this tier list and lead us into the warmth of Nurgle's embrace. Bless Carl, always blessings to Carl. Thank you very much, Mr. Strongboy. Really appreciate it. 22 months coming up on 2 years of support. That is crazy. And then we've got Dan Rempel coming with two things. Firstly, he's got a $7.77 Canadian super chat. I've ordered my Get Bongulated t-shirt. Should be here soon. I'll post a pic in the Discord. Also, I entered my first GT coming up. Hey, awesome, mate. Hope you have a great time. Remember, whenever you're going to your first ever event, your only goal is to have fun. Just go, enjoy yourself, meet people, have a good time. And if you manage
to sit down.
Yes. Drink water, sit down, yeah. And if you manage to bring back a win, excellent. But don't be upset if you don't, because a lot of people go to the first event and don't get a single win. Although we did meet someone, Benedict, who went to he was at his first ever event at the GTI, was that, and he actually won 2 games. So well done to Benedict.
Amazing, well done.
Exactly. And then also, thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, mate. That is a massive amount of support. Thank you so much. If you did just get gifted membership, go to our YouTube channel homepage, click the See Perks button, and there'll be a link for you to join the Discord and get yourselves in there. And just make sure once you're in Discord to go into your settings, connections, link your Discord and your YouTube together, and that'll unlock the full server for you. But thank you so much, Dan. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, mate.
Okay, so that's the 2 newest ones out of the way. Where do you want to go next, Mr. Dave? Should we talk about the big spooky scary of the meta at the moment, the big 90 boys? Right, okay, so let's go with... I'm going to go with Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights. What did you think about Imperial Knights, Dave?
So, I think the other challenge we've got with this is kind of what are you playing, detachment-wise,
yes, into
them. But if we're saying we might be, I don't know, a unit down to a... I'll tell you what I'll talk about. I'll talk about from my my DLC experience into playing into Imperial Knights. At Leeds, I played super aggressive into them and had a really successful game. But if my big 6-man brick had to be a 3-man brick, so if I was running 3 3s, or I only had 1 6 and 1 3, that game would have been a lot harder.
Yeah.
I would say definitely, and also the MBHs did Mephitic Blighthaulers. Sorry for anyone newer to the nomenclature or the naming of our units. They also did a lot of work. The 2 of them did a lot of work in that game. So if I had to sacrifice either that 6 to a 3 on the Death Shroud or drop out one of those guys, I think that game would have been a lot harder for me. Yeah,
that is a fair point. Now, I will say I played DLC with 3-man squads against Knights, against Chaos Knights. Them not having the feel no pain was a big factor in that, because again they weren't just saving random things, but it's still killable. Like the Death Shroud was still averaging 12 to 15 damage against a Knight in melee, which is still kind of wild to think about. So, I mean, and obviously if we're talking about when the nerfs come in, we also imagine the Knight's going to get nerfed alongside us. So this one matchup we'll actually talk about right now matchup, because we're going to get nerfed together. So the odds really shouldn't change that much. I actually think against Knights, it does really depend on the build. I think the actual War Dog spam is worse for us. The Armor. I think that Canis Rex and 14 Armor is a pain in the ass to deal with, just because so much strain stuff. But I actually think 5 bigs or 4 bigs. I haven't really struggled with it.
I don't mind it. You
lock in fixed. You lock in assassination, bring it down.
You wait and then you pounce.
Yeah, that's what I did. Because the thing is, people are like, oh, what if they just hide behind a wall? They can't. They've got to play tactical.
They've got to play the game.
They've got to play the game. They have to send stuff out. So when those Knights come out, every single time you kill a Knight, that's 10 VP. And if you fall behind, you get challenger cards. Brilliant. So even more ways to stay in the game or get absolute nonsense like advance and charge on Death Shroud, something like that. What I will say is, this actually can fluctuate based on your detachment quite a bit. Now, I think Deathlord's Chosen is probably one of the weaker detachments to kill Knights with. Obviously, Shamble Rock probably being the weakest. I would say that probably goes into between 50-50 and Oriel that fell down the couch. If you are Champions of Contagion and you just save 3 CP, it's bongulated.
100%.
3 Death Shroud, Lord of Contagion, come in, there's 3 command points, make a 6-inch charge, Knight dead, boom. Not even quite close.
And what I would say as well is, in the difference in the list we took, is I had Mortarion in mind, and Morty just sat on the middle, and went, okay, well, you can't hold this point with one Armiger because we're equal in terms of OC, and then that Armiger's dead next turn, and then Mortarian's in your deployment zone to fight your big knights, whatever's left of them. So even in that setup, I'm like, kind of, I don't really mind it. Like, you still have got to go. You've still got to come out of your deployment zone.
Yeah,
and when you do, I'm sat behind all the ruins, and you can't get through them because you can't even walk through it to stand there because I can stop. Your base can't clear it.
Yes.
And therefore, the moment you come out, I'm gonna just drop everything on you and like delete a couple of your big guys each turn, and then you've got nothing to score with.
Knights are very much a stat check, and I think
Yeah.
and also it's a knowledge check because, as you alluded to there, when you start to understand that yes, you can't move block the knights per se as like a line of guys, but if you just stand where they want to finish their move, they can't get like 10 poxwalkers can take up a lot of space. And when you start understanding like that's how you can control the movement, it's very easy to isolate one knight, kill it. That's the one good thing about Deathwatch Chosen I had is like I could drop down the 3 Death Shroud, charge in, kill a knight, and then be like, cool, now I'm going to uppy my downy and then come back and kill another knight as well, which was really funny. So I think Imperial Knights are actually in the Oriole that felt like the slight advantage to us just because, again, no invul in melee. Now, it really does depend on list. Like, if they brought a load of Lancers and Atropos, it gets a bit more annoying because that invul in melee.
Yeah, it does.
But we're going to talk about like the generic one you're seeing, which is like, you know, maybe an Atropos. There's definitely going to be a Canis. And like a bit of a mixture of units. But I played against them with my Champion to Contagion. Absolutely bodied them because it was champions. Like, don't get me wrong, like again, champions goes into bongulated tier, but I still think we have the advantage here because we, especially just again, HBL drones are really good at shooting them. Haulers are really good at just shooting at them. Like, we got a lot of units that can just shoot them pretty reliably, and then we have such hard hitting melee units as well. Like 10 Plague Marines just go out with any form of the rerolls, kills a knight.
Yep.
So I think I think that's advantage us personally.
I would also so I'd also put Chaos Knights right next to it. As well.
I agree, and now but the question is which one's worse.
I think Imperial Knights is still worse, but on a basis of if it's the right kind of list, which either one could have, I still think Imperial Knights can put the better list together.
Yes. Okay.
In the game as it is right now.
I get that. The one thing I will say is I think the Chaos Knights, if they're playing Lords of Dread, that OC5 sticky can become a real problem. That is, again, depends on the list you've brought, but if you've brought quite an elite tournament heavy list, oh my god, what a pain in the ass deal with it is. Minus some damage, like, everyone kept saying like minus some damage is like super impactful. It's not really because we're an army that has our damage split in multiple phases, and especially Deathwatch Chosen.
Several places. Yeah.
It's like, if you want to spend 4 CP a turn to minus 2 damage me, and then I'm still doing mortals on top of that, and like, it just didn't happen. Like, what would tend to happen is they'd have one phase of having it, and they'd be on like 0 CP, and I'd be like, cool, because again, they have to spend CP to like redraw secondaries, they have to spend CP to reroll some advances, some charges. Like, they can't just sit on like all the CP all the time, and they actually have no way to generate it outside of like just the norm. So,
and they've still got the same problem is they've still got to come out to play the game and put stuff out. So you still end up in a situation where even if they sticky a couple of objectives, you still play the game where I go out to kill it, to go and destroy that army, and then I'll clear up the points afterwards.
Yes, yeah. I think
you still got to play a late game turn on it, but you're still playing fixed into it. So you're still getting big scores off your secondaries, and you can score massively in a single turn, which is really, really strong. And then you just go and clean up the primary afterwards. Yeah,
I had a turn where I got 30 on secondaries in a single turn.
I had a similar thing.
I dropped an Atropos to 2 the turn before, and then that turn charged Atropos, impact mortal wounds, killed it, piled into a Rampager, killed that, and then we shot to death at Despoil. It was just like, cool. I've gone from being like 10 behind to like 20 in front, just like that. It's daft. So I think, again, we're just good at killing knights and just dealing with like the melee now. We used to have problems against it, but now I think our profiles actually, especially because they go into T11 now, we put them to T10. Like, a lot of our profiles are much better at dealing with it. So I'm not super worried about Knight matchup, even though it is still horrific. I think Chaos Knights in the right build could push to 50-50, but I think if we're just talking generic build, we probably still have advantage against.
Agreed.
Next up then, let's talk about... Where should we go? Let's try to get some quick ones out of the way.
Blood Angels?
Yeah, Blood Angels. Okay, Blood Angels. So, Blood Angels I would actually normally put in Bongulated. I think the only issue I have with Blood Angels right now is they are so damn cheap. Now, it does depend. If they get nerfed back their points, so, like, if they go back to their pre-thingy points, because they didn't really...
Less Vanguard on the table, basically.
Yeah, less Vanguard vets, less, like, all the bloody nonsense, because they get so much stuff. Like, the fact they have so much stuff keeps us in Oriel at the moment. They're, like, advantage us. Still advantage us. It's a melee matchup against power armor. Like, we always naturally like those matchups, I won't lie. But if they went back to pre-points, I think this goes up to Bongulated. But as it stands right now... oh, by the way, I'm gonna put Knights, though. What's easier, Knights or Black Templars, do you reckon? Probably Black Templars, I imagine.
Black Templars.
Yeah, because, again, we just murder infantry super hard. So, I don't know, what about you and Blood Angels? I imagine it's kind of the same thoughts, really.
Yeah, Blood Angels have got the same problem as Black Templars. They want to get close to you, and we want them to come close to us. So any army that relies on that basis is difficult. Dazza, yeah, just to reiterate, we've put them there. We've put Grey Knights there for now because it's not that we can't deal with them or we can't destroy that army. It's just if you're playing it and we're assuming maybe a unit down or some points of increases have caused us to have a bit less stuff on the table, and they've got extra movement shenanigans, then their scoring capability has just gone up quite sharply, and ultimately. It doesn't matter whether you can destroy your opponent or not. If it's able to move around you and score and outscore you, then the game becomes a bit more on a knife edge.
It is. Bongulated is a good matchup. Bongulated is they have no chance. Bongulated is when you win the game by using the Plague Bong, the Miasmic Malignifier. In which case, like as we've said, if you actually read the rules for the Miasmic Malignifier, it does state if you beat someone in a game using it, their opponent's wife has to divorce them, they have to lose their job, and their kids have to go to an orphanage. It's brutal. It's crazy rule. I don't know why it's really there. It's a bit weird, but
it's just in the errata if you look it up on Warcom.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Blood Angels, again, it's natural prey. It's the reason we are the sole reason right now that Blood Angels are not looking good on stats, because by all metrics they should be kicking ass. But the problem is, Death Guard is the most popular army in the game, and Death Guard shit on Blood Angels. We are solo keeping that army at bay. So, it has to be... Is it... I'm going to keep it at Oriel, but this is the real argument to put this one in Bongulated, I won't lie.
I think it's in Oreo.
Because, again, just because it's so much stuff. I think if they go back to the pre-points, they go up to Bongulated. But
they get so much stuff.
Yeah. You can still mess up versus it, which is, I'm going to say, keeps it out of Bongulated. If you do mess up and let them get the good engagements they want.
Yes. If
they
you
do
let
hit
them,
hard.
If you rock up if you rock, get jumped on by a million Vanguard vets, with 4-up saves everywhere, like it can go wrong.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So next up, let's go for. I'm actually going to go with Aeldari here, and I'm going to caveat this one. I'm going to put him in He Smells Fresh. I'm going to caveat this as this. A good Eldar player is still an absolute menace. And they have a lot of damage and a lot of mobility. The biggest problem with Eldar at the moment is they don't have many models. And we have lots of models because we are undercosted. So when you combine them, at the moment, when you say right now, if you're against Eldar, you can just disrespect them. You can just run at them. They can't kill it all, and then you just kill them all. Like, because we are too undercosted right now. We know this. We've said it. It's what it is. But I think when we get adjusted, and then maybe they get a bit of a buff because they're not doing great on stats, so I could see them getting a little bit of a buff. I think this actually against a good Eldar player is actually quite a hard matchup. They have the ability to turn off Overwatch. They have the ability to get where they want to. Fire Dragons are absolutely lethal into anything that they shoot. Even into shooting Death Shroud, like, that's Melter 3. Like, again, any damage kills a guy. On a 2-up, it kills a guy with -1 damage. So you don't want to get shot by it. So I think the problem that we're going to have when people see this is people have had the games. We've had the games against the Eldar players that aren't this top-tier Eldar players. Nothing wrong about that. You don't have to be top-tier to play an army. You just play what you enjoy. But I have had 2 experiences versus Eldar. I blow the shit out of them, or they blow the shit out of me. Not sexually, just like game killy bad. So I actually think though, if the Eldar player plays, if we were to say right now, I play perfectly, Eldar play perfectly, I think the Eldar player wins.
I think so.
If we get the points toned down. Right now, I can play like an idiot and beat them.
Right now, you can just throw at them and go, I'm just going to keep coming, and eventually you're just going to run out of models.
Yeah. What I will say, though, is if you're playing more Tyrant's Hammer, this goes to Bongulated.
Yes.
if you're
Yes,
playing
it
true
does.
PBC, Eldar just die. You go that in contagion, boom, hammers go bang, dead.
Yep.
Like
Yep. Agreed.
just die. But I'm gonna assume that hammer's gonna get nerfed because it is way overperforming in stats right now. So I'm gonna put this as our first one. I think actually he smells fresh because it can be tough. And again against a good one,
100%.
it's still hard.
Yeah.
Yes, you played against Ben. Someone said that VT matchup.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did
like
play against Ben.
and that that was a really fun, interesting game. But you can see that even with squishy models, like if someone's playing it and knows what they're doing with it, like Aiden said, it's a total menace.
Yeah, exactly. Brood painting. Which cannon is best for a predator? Go for the destructor. That is the auto cannon version. That is the
100%.
single barrel. The twin las cannon version, the annihilator, is just not a great tank in general. Doesn't really do too much. The predator destructor in general is just a better tank. So to answer that one for you there. So do you want to pick one, Dave?
Yeah, let's go for Custodes, your favourite.
Get
Or your
Bungulate.
favourite of last year.
Let's go straight into Bungulate for me. We have literally every tool you need to shit on a Custodes player today. Now, this being said, there are some fantastic Custodes players out there.
Yes.
Rory, who lives near me or plays near me, scares the shit out of me on his Custodes, and he always has. He always has, because he plays them super well. And he, even right now, he got 3-2 at the local event. He's having a bad time, and Rory is not a bad player. Rory is an amazing player. But in the game, right now, Custodes are having a bad time, and we, in that matchup, have the... If you're Virulent Vectorum, all their melee is just gone. It's all down to damage 1. There's all damage 2. 2 up save, you can counter that by taking -1 to save. High toughness, cool, say hello to Flamers.
Exactly.
You can mortal wound spam them to death, because again, if they've got the 4-up save strat, 4-up feel no pain, they don't really want to spend a CP for one Typhus smite.
No.
And then, so you do the smite, and they go...
Or everything else that comes along with Mortarion and
Exactly.
DLC and like...
But there, it's hitting multiple units, so one strat's not going to help
Doesn't
them.
matter.
So that's going to be real rough for them. I think Custodes are just not in the hottest... Now, I still scared the shit of that grav tank. I hate the Caladius grav tank. That thing is terrifying.
It's genuinely one of the most terrifying tanks in the game.
Oh, it is.
Like, I'm more worried about that than a Rogue or Dawn.
It does worry me. It does really worry me. But I think in general we have every tool. Like again, even against if Custodes became meta and everyone was running Blade Champs, you bring Foul Blight spawns. Now they can't advance and charge near you, and you have Fight First.
Yeah.
You have every tool you need. Like even Toughness 9 is such a big deal against these guys because the Spears are Strength 7. So your Marines go to T8. Now when you're on 5s, your Terminators go to T9. When you're on 5s. Like we have a plethora of tools to fight these guys, and the only thing that keeps Custodes in the game right now is player skill and those dedicated players like us when we were playing it when Death Guard were bad, and those guys deserve medals. I don't like complimenting Custodes players,
100%.
I won't lie, but those guys right now who are sticking with Custodes, massive respect to them, and they do deserve some buffs, which hurts me to say. I don't like it when Custodes get buffed because Custodes like Knights, everyone owns them or can get them easily, but they are struggling right now, and I do think right now we absolutely smash them to pieces. I don't know if you got a different opinion, Dave, or if you're on my side on that one.
No, I'm with you. I have a big respect for anyone who plays their army through the dark times, and they've definitely been through that. And I think actually seeing some people do well with them at the minute. There's a lot of Alaris builds that people are playing nicely with, but like you said, against us, like into a lot of the rest of the meta, Custodes can do well. They still can't do that well against us, and like if you're playing one of a really good player, yeah, that person can beat you with player skill. But if you just go army versus army, we are one of the things they don't want to see across the table.
Exactly. We are their natural predator. We have been for a while, and now it feels even worse for them. You are welcome, Necros. You mean learn what plethora means. There you go. You've learned. Do you want to answer Frederick's question in chat there today?
Yeah, I was gonna say, sure. So just if anyone isn't looking at the chat, Frederick wrote a bit off topic, but a lot of my people in my local meta absolutely hate in capital letters my Death Shroud, whilst I love them. Not because they're very good though. They are, by the way. Should I scale back on them so people don't feel bad? So there's an interesting thing you can do on this one is you can play one of the less mean detachments, which I think is kind of what Daz is kind of saying a little bit there, is don't play Virulent Vectorum or don't play Champions. Play something else that like DLC, which is a lot less super kill it, which is, well, it's a lot less meta powerful. But the other thing to do is you can do two things with it. A is if you're having a game with somebody, just change the list up, play some stuff if you can, if you've got the models, play stuff that you wouldn't usually play, like put in less of the optimal units. And yes, in your instance, you could run a few less Death Shroud. Or the other thing to do is, if you've got a player that wants to learn to play against Death Guard, run it as a kind of a, let's play the game and talk through it as we're doing it, and use it as a way to go, get used to this army and I'll help you do that. So maybe there's another way that you can do that within your community or your meta. Those are the two things I'd suggest.
Thank you. Excellent work, Dave. So I'm going to put this one right. I've just made a new tier for it. Actual hell tier is the mirror.
Wow.
This is
100%.
It is the most horrible matchup I've ever played, because you both want to be ready to put them in contagion, but not be in contagion yourself. Both factions chaos spawn are the most terrifying things on the planet, because you know Death Shroud will come in, but your Death Shroud will come in. And Hammer's just an absolute fucking mess of a matchup, because then you're all picking two. I played this against Virulent Vectorum, the 3 of everything good list, and oh my god, my opponent's brains were just melting, because we're just measuring out threat ranges, contagion ranges 24/7. Because here's the thing: when you play Death Guard, you understand how important contagion range is. Some opponents don't really measure it out, don't really think about it. But when you both understand how important it is, and especially when you're going first or second, so you know someone's going to get the final drop of Death Shroud, oh my god, this game can get in the bin. I would rather just buy my opponent a drink and call it a draw, because it's so miserable.
It's a total game of chicken where you're both like this until one of you goes, and it's like an old-fashioned duel where, you know, like they've got the flintlock pistols and they're just kind of like, one of you have to both stand there until one of you fires. If the other person misses, you're like, okay, now I can take my time and take my shot. It was a really interesting one. I mean, I played Jack Ferguson Leeds with DLC versus VV. So that's Deathlord's Chosen versus Virulent Vectorum. And my first 2 turns took a combined 3 minutes. Jack spent 30 minutes on his first turn. Because you're just like, well, if I go here, you're going to do this, and if this happens here, well, you're going to drop this, or you could put this Death Shroud here, or this could happen. And it's like, if it had been the other way around, it might have been the same for me. But like, it's the
funniest thing
just,
I had.
It's just really unenjoyable.
My opponent pulled all of his units back because of contagion range. He didn't want to get contagion, and then he pulled them all back. He was like, I think it's a thing. I was like, cool. So you're out of contagion range, but now you've just opened up a lot of rapid ingress area because you've had to pull back. Then he was like, fuck. I had to put it on my phone again. It's such a mess.
Well, last year I played a mirror, and this is way pre-Codex, and I just charged my 10-man Plague Marine brick into his 10-man Plague Marine brick, just like mid-game, was just like bam, and then he was like, and I looked down the table and I'm like, it's got a Foul Blight Spawn and a Biological Putrefier. Cool. And he was like, you didn't mean to do that, did you? And I went, absolutely not. But I just did, and I totally forgot I was playing a mirror for a second.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, literally, I was like, cool. So I'm completely with you.
Yes.
And this isn't even right now. Any point in the history of playing this game, Death Guard playing Death Guard is not fun.
No, it's not. Because you also, I keep forgetting, like, I'm -1 toughness as well. So I'm when they woo me, I'm like, no, you win me on 5. He's like, yeah, -1 toughness. I'm like, oh yeah, I am, man. I was like, God,
same with Tank Shock, and you're like, they're like, okay, so I'm gonna roll 9 dice, and you're like, 8 dice.
You're like, oh. So yeah, that one is actual hell tier. So next one, I'm gonna go for another straightforward. I'm gonna go World Eaters. I think right now I would actually possibly put this in Bongulated.
Even if it's super shooty.
The Forge Fiends do not bother me, at all. Because every time I'm going to expose stuff to shoot in, because the shooting phase is before the fight phase, all I will do is walk 10 Poxwalkers in front of my shooting unit. So it's like, cool, if you want to shoot me, you're not getting rerolls. Like, you're going to have to shoot the Poxwalkers. And the Forge Fiends usually come out, get a go, and then get killed. I feel like you can also just... They have... Because they've lost 5-man Berserker squads, their ability to trade into, like, 10 infiltrating Poxwalkers is horrendous. If you take -1 to hit, or your Champions of Contagion can flex even better, even funnier if you're a Champions of Contagion. Spot 2 Chaos Spawn, even with the D6 plus 5 attacks because of Berserker, Warband, and they're all strength 7 and whatnot, and they get sustain elite, whatever the fuck it is, and advance and charge. they kill like 3 Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
And then you walk out of combat, you step backwards, you shoot the spawn to death, and then you have your 7 Poxwalkers still there, and you go, cool, what are you going to do to clear them today? And then they send in the next unit to spawn, and they kill 3 again, and you cool, I'll keep doing this, buddy. And then eventually they get to a point, because they've lost the 5 Berserker squads, like, they can't kill them, so then they have to send someone out, like, either a 10-man Berserker squad, or they have to expose a Forge Fiend to shoot it, which means then you can get that thing back. Or they have to, send 8 bound. That's just what happened in my game. I still think a very good World Eater player who understands all the ins and outs of the fight phase. Like, I'm not going to go and try and fight Brian or like, Dara from, like...
Yeah.
If I'm against them, I think it goes to Oreo that fell down the couch. Because I still think we have advantage, and I think even they'll admit that. It's not a matchup they want to see. But I think in terms of, like, your more average game against your average opponent, I think they are one of the easier matchups, so long as you are aware of, like, screening principles and trading principles. And as long as you get them down, like, you just smash it. You just absolutely murk them. Like, again, don't get hung up on trying to survive them, because if they want to kill you, they can. They can go lethal hits, sustained hits, or lethal dev, something like that. Just take -1 save. Make sure they have to spend actual units to crash into your screens, and then just kill them. Like, just straight kill them. Keep your Death Shroud in reserves. Wait for them to commit a unit. Drop on 6-inch charge. It will kill the entire unit. Like, no matter what you touch, you just murderize. So I think that is, personally for me, bongulated tier. I won't lie. What do you reckon, Dave? Do you reckon that's a bongulated, or do you reckon that's an Oreo?
Yeah, I think if we're talking average, then it probably is. Average players, it probably is bongulated. Because I think, like you said, like similar to Custodes, we have all the tools to kind of deal with it. And if you set yourself up right, it's very hard for them to come back against it.
I think that's the thing as well. You just said that this isn't even a match. This isn't even an army that is meta right now. Like, we're dealing with a high toughness vehicle meta. If infantry melee, fast infantry melee became meta, we have all the tools we need to deal with that. Like you said, Foul Blight Spawn's a great tool. You can, you can take Champions to Contagions, have on-demand fight first. You can take it from T9. They really don't like T9 on infantry. You got a million ways to, like, deal with this. So I think that does go in bongulated tier there, Mr. Dave.
Okay.
Next up, go on. You may take a choice, sir.
Should we go for Drukhari?
Drukhari. So, I mean, oh god, Drukhari's a weird one. Like, I don't play against Drukhari very often.
You rarely seeing them on the table at the minute. Especially, and when we say that, everyone we're talking about tournament scene.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a really hard one. I haven't played. Being honest, I haven't played Drukhari in, I don't know, like since maybe a Super Major last year.
Yeah, the game I had versus Drukhari was basically the Scourges and their Haywire stuff was pretty scary. Then outside of that, literally nothing could touch the Death Shroud.
Yeah, and also if you've got 3 BBCs, it's like you destroy.
Oh yeah, if it's Hammer again, it's just like if it's just Hammer, it's just straight bongulated. Like, you just get flattened.
You should just buy your opponent a beer and call it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one because again, if you're talking like Scary's you can't use Scary as like the modal because Scary is exceptionally good at Drukhari. Yeah. Like, exactly, he's a legend. He's a one-man Drukhari. But if we're talking about average, like you look at Drukhari and they have a lot of stuff and it looks scary, and then this thing can happen. It's this weird phenomenon where basically they will have this turn where they spend all the pain tokens, and then maybe you just bounce a couple more saves upon than you thought, and then nothing actually dies, and now they have 0 pain tokens. And because the pain token is the thing that gives them like the reroll wounds and the AP or the reroll hits, once that's gone, turns out killing things without rerolls for Drukhari becomes even harder, which means then it's even harder for them to get pain tokens, which means that it's even harder to kill things, and this cycle starts where it's just like getting absolutely like rinsed. Now, it's not to say that you can't lose Drukhari. Obviously you can. Right. Because again, people that tend to be playing, again, same with the Custodes up here, people that are playing this army especially tend to be tryhards.
To be really good.
Yeah, because they're diehards. They play this faction. There is no reason, if someone's to get into the game right now and say, I want to play Drukhari, I would say, do you really want to play Drukhari? Because if you're going to do, obviously go play what you want to play. But if someone was like, hey, pick me an army to get into competitive play now, this would be on my last recommendations.
Yeah, you should be getting good at you should learn the basics of the game in the other armies, where it's a lot more forgiving, and then go, actually, I really like the lore, I like the models, I like the rules, and I'm going to specialize in this. And then you got to commit then.
Yeah. So I'm not going to put them in bongulated tier because I feel like that can be a bit harsh. They are still cheap. They still got plenty of elves. Still got
Still fast,
mobility.
still cheap.
They can hit pretty hard, but again, the problem is they can fall apart real quick. And if you've brought more Tyrant's Hammer, just night.
Yeah.
Just.
Well, I think if you remember in my the Drukhari unit that Ben had in our game, where they were just kind of mid-boardish, and then the Malignant Plaguecaster just basically picked them up.
Yeah, like anything that looks
much...
at anything remote, like a Rhino's Bolters, just picks these units up.
Yeah.
So I will put them in Ori that fell on the couch because again, if I come across Drukhari, I am more scared of the player than the army. And then
just wants to have a look and chat, but the Vector's annoying. Yeah, it is, but you don't really need stratagems against them.
Yeah, because you don't need offensive strats for sure, because everything just dies to a stiff breeze. So you can just sit on your CP for defensive strats. It is annoying.
Yeah, it is. You're not wrong in that it's annoying, but it's not stopping you taking the fight to them.
Yeah, and these guys don't have a codex yet, so I think when these guys get codex, we'll better be able to establish it. Because right now you're just not really seeing them either. I'm not gonna lie, they're so rare. It is a shame. Right, okay, let's get some quick ones. So let's go for let's have a quick one. Orks.
Yeah.
I
mean,
you've played against Orks quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's bongulated.
Yeah, I don't think Orks.
The two annoying things they've really got are Makari to basically save a million 2-ups before you can get hold of Gaz, and the battle wagons are T12. But we've got once you take those out, the actual boys themselves, they've got a couple of. Don't get me wrong, they've got a couple of units that can absolutely murderize you. Like my game in at Leeds versus Orcs, he had a unit of boys which I was like went into Typhus and 3 Death Shard, and I was like, cool, yeah, go for it. And even I think I had -1 to hit on, and no, I did -1 save, and the volume of damage it put out was genuinely astounding. But then I just killed it all next turn. The Orcs just can't take the damage we can output, and it doesn't matter what it does. Like you take the hit, and then in your slap back you destroy so much that it doesn't matter, and then you just run away with the game at the end.
Orcs are also really struggling in chapter approved because Orcs are all about that early pressure, keeping you off primary. And again, by the end of the game, Orcs normally don't have much left. They're like proper on fumes. But right now, because of how it works, like they can put you behind. You just sit on challenger cards, score 3 a turn, and focus on just killing your way out of the problem, and then win the game later. It's really against everything in the game is against Orcs moment. The top army, Death Guard really kills Orcs pretty well. It always has done. And then the chapter approved on top of that, it can feel nigh like completely unfair for Orcs right now. So I agree with Dave. I think we're going to put Orcs in bongulated. Again, Orc specialists out there can be really good, really powerful.
Yes.
It's funny to see them dumpster knights because they can dumpster knights, which
They really
is really
can.
funny. But again, the problem is that it's not just knights at the top of the meta at the moment, it's also us, and that is not a matchup they want. So they coin flip, and if they lose the coin flip, they get absolutely ran down by Death Guard. Because, I mean, you've seen like 6 Death Shot with those hand flamers. It's just foul into Orcs. Gone.
7d6 anti-infantry. See you later, buddy.
Yeah, no. Let's go for Sisters. I still think that is Ori that fell down couch. Sisters still have not recovered fully from the nerfs. They are better than they were. The changes have been good to them, but they're still quite expensive. And if they go the cheaper options are all their infantry, but we have no problem killing infantry, especially when we make it toughness 2. So everything in our army wounds are on 2s. Absolutely amazing. Literally everything. Even your Death Shard Flamers don't have to use the anti-profile. They just naturally wound on 3s at that point. So the vehicles that they can take are also just so expensive that our stupid cheap demon engines just dance all over them.
When a 90-point Mephitic Blight Hauler just rocks up to like any one of their super expensive vehicles, it's just like cool, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, lethal melters, and have a crack missile afterwards. You're like, cool, and then you can just, even if it's got a couple of wounds left, you can just kill it with incidental shooting. Let alone strength 10 heavy blight launcher drones at flat 3 as well. Like you said, going back to the point, we've got so many tools in the list that can deal with tanks, that can deal with infantry, that can deal with elite infantry, that can fight first, that can, there's, let alone if you're playing hammer. I mean, if you're playing hammer into that, like, just disgusting.
The fun thing is, because we got so much cheap troops, like the scariest thing I have is Valgon. That is still an incredibly scary unit.
Oh, Val is still one of the most crazy units in the game. Has been since she launched into the game and still is today. Like that thing can pick up so much.
Yeah, but it's
Miracle Dice is still a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's also not fun for them when they have to bring Valgon out to shoot a single 90-point demon engine, and then Val dies instantly because you mark with a lot of villains to go, here's 3 HBL drones, bye. It's real brutal for them. So yeah, they're still struggling faction at the moment. I think if they got buffs, that could go to 50-50 because it's still a good army. It's just the points on it at the moment are so brutal for them. So brutal still.
And I think there is, don't get me wrong, right? There is a build of sisters that can F us up, right? If they bring out the mega melter like format with miracle dice and some good supporting vehicle stuff, like that can really hurt. But you're unlikely to see it because that isn't the right thing to play into a competitive scene. Gets round of 6 games or 5 games.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Quack, for the 13 months membership. It will be very cool to see this sort of tier list for teams events. So that's something we can do in the future. You know, we can talk about that in the future. If that's something you want to see as content, let us know. And thank you as well to Lazy Chicken for the gifted membership there. Congratulations to Mr. Commodore for getting that one there. Make sure you get yourself in the Discord and all that good stuff. Okay, next up, let's go for AdMech. AdMech is a weird one. So AdMech's actually doing well in the meta at the moment because it turns out knights can sometimes just struggle to deal with tons and tons of annoying IOC bodies. Because knights are very good at like killing vehicles and stomping things, but
they're not good at mass killing.
They're not very good at mass killing, especially cheap, and they've all got 5 invulnerables as well, which is really annoying for them to deal with. It's just like cool, everything has an invulnerable as well. AdMech are, I will say this now, AdMech are not a good army. They are just in a weird spot where one of the biggest armies in the game won't be in the knights combined. They have a really good matchup in 2. The reason AdMech are not winning events, however, is because this other army exists called us. And this army has no fucking issue killing infantry en masse. So
they basically a 6-man brick of Dash Shroud with a Lord of Contagion over 3 turns can kill an entire AdMech army.
Yeah, and if they don't have that Breacher squad alive, they're going to struggle to kill that. Like their Breacher squad is the only thing that does damage.
If you misplay the Cataphrons, like if you misplay that unit and get it picked up, like there's no more game.
It's they at that point, it's just
I've played AdMech with like 2 groups of those, and basically if you with the 6-inch drop in ability, the moment you get near them, like and you focus that unit out, like it's the game's done. Like they're just like you said. The problem is we exist in the game.
Yeah, and as long as you just position well on like objectives and like take up the space they can't get onto it, save an Overwatch here, then just be aggressive into them. Like again, as soon as the Cataphrone brick is dead, they have a very hard time killing you, and you can just disrespect and run through them.
Yeah, and don't worry about the Dune crawlers and stuff because like they've only got a couple of shots, so even if they're shooting stuff, like you're only going to lose a couple of models that are like of a unit at a time worst, and that's. Yeah, it is capable of doing some really good stuff, and there were once again, and we'll say this. You're going to hear us say this repeatedly, but there are some great players out there with these armies, and if you run into one of them, you're going to have trouble regardless into any of these groups. But on an average basis, we're doing all right for like Oliver exactly that point. Cataphrons with the infantry keyword is the #1 Achilles heel in that army for us. We're just like, cool.
Yeah, anti-machine. So I'll say, but one thing against AdMech as well is if you try and play against AdMech the way you normally play, which is like, you know, I'm going to put out some trading units and things like this, you'll lose because they'll just out-trade you because they've got a million bodies. They'll keep flipping your primary. You just have to run at them and kill everything.
Yeah.
Like they don't have the damage output to kill it all when it runs at them. Maybe they kill one unit, maybe the Cataphrons kill a unit, then you kill the Cataphrons, and then GG. Like it's game over.
The other thing you can do against this army, counter to what it can do with the right setup, is you can actually jail it if you put your Poxwalkers out and go first. Like you can completely screw them up. Like they've got so many bodies that especially if you're playing Search and Destroy, they can struggle to even fit everything in a deployment zone. And you can always get shots on stuff immediately.
That is true. That is very true because there's so many guys. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely going up in Bungulated. So I'm going to get Leagues of Votann. I actually think Leagues is actually 50-50. They are cheap. Okay. They have lots of guys. They have some good shooting. They play Honest Warhammer real good.
Yes, they do.
They can put +1 to hit and wound on our key units, which really helps them get around the whole toughness thing. They have lots of damage 3 melee as well on those big concussion hammers. So killing Death Shroud in melee is not the biggest issue because if you -1 it goes down to 2, so still 2 kill a guy, and they fight on death. Votann is just in a weird spot where I don't feel like Votann has a bad matchup into anyone, but it doesn't also technically dumpster anyone because Votann is just it is the most honest army in the game. It's Votann.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The 3 or 4 occasions I've played into it, I've heavily destroyed it.
Yes, I think we have the tools. -1 save. Oh god, they don't like that. They have very little.
They don't like that. They don't like that. And once things like that, if you're playing somebody who's playing a couple of Sagittars of like hackathons, whatever, you want that. That's a bit quite. They're relatively cheap to put out there, but like once you get rid of some of the scary shooting off those, like the bikes aren't that worrying. Like it's not that it's a bad army. Like you say, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. You've also got Votann, so you know it better than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm happy with it there. I think it'll be interesting to see where it. Yeah, I'd look forward to playing it again because I haven't for a while now.
Yeah, I'm only putting 50 because I know I do play them, and I don't feel like if I come against Death Guard I'm particularly happy or sad. But again, I don't feel that way with anything as Votann. It's really weird.
If you come up against Votann, like we're talking about, like on an average player versus an average player kind of situation, do you think average Death Guard into average Votann is a 50-50?
Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's like comes to like slight advantage because again, -1 save is so brutal against that army.
Yeah,
really don't like it.
And there's tons of infantry in it, so the flamers are all at 81.
Right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Votann. I'm actually gonna bring Chaos Knights down because I actually think Lords of Dread Chaos Knights with the OC Sticky 5 can actually become a bit of a problem there. I just don't want to have too many up there. And I'm more scared of Chaos Knights than Imperial Knights for that reason. I think. Okay. Personally, anyway. Okay, that's fair enough. So yeah, leagues will put in slight advantage just because again the -1 save is so brutal into them. And yeah, to be fair, actually, when I think about it more, the grudge tokens are great, but at the moment, because of how cheap our demon hunters, we can go really wide with our build. Like,
yeah.
Again, if you've brought 6 Death Shroud, put in 2 tokens, and that's really good. But if you've got loads like 60, it's 9 demon engines. Like again, like cool. The 3 most expensive ones are the PBCs, and they're hiding in the back line, so you're not shooting them. So
not shooting them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, fair enough. Fair point. Next up, let's go for Space Marines. I actually,
so many flavors, but yeah.
Let's talk Ultramarines.
I was going to say, let's say it's Ultramarines.
Yeah, Ultramarines. I think that is still a hard matchup.
I think it's still hard.
A good player on Ultramarines. I'm going to put it next to Eldar. Yep, Gilliman's still stupid.
Gilliman, Calgar, yeah, like
that.
Still,
oh my god, +1 to wound on Oath is absolutely brutal. The Stormraven build that's going on is really good. That is
still really good.
They have every single tool an army could want. Fall back and shoot, advance and charge, all these kind of things. Armor Contempt still exists. It is still to this day bewilders me about how many Space Marine players can get such bad results with such an amazing tool set. It is incredibly surprising to me. So I actually think if you put this in general, this is advantage Ultramarine.
I think if it's I'd almost say if it's Gilliman, if it's a really good copy paste Ultramarines list, it might even be harder than that on the average basis.
Yeah. I just realised this tier list is missing Emperor's Children.
Yep. Yeah, I was just thinking of that too.
I'll fix that after. Fair enough. Yeah, I think if you are a good Ultramarines player, you're still just stupidly effective and stupidly powerful right now. So I think a good, again, equal skill players in both armies, I still think Ultramarines, because there's a reason Ultramarines still win a lot of things.
Yeah, there is.
There's still a real reason that those guys are still doing really well. And I think those guys are one of the tougher matchups with Eldar.
Yeah, they've definitely brought out a can of freshen up, I think.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Theo's in the chat, who's the man who beat my ass in with the Ultramarines. So actually, I think a good Ultramarine player is still quite tough for Death Guard. I think it can easily go between 50-50 and a slight worse matchup for us. Because again, it all depends on build. It's the same thing with the Marine Codex. It's so wide, so varied, so many builds, and we have the same. I think, again, even Theo said if I was playing the hammer build with the PBCs and stuff, that becomes now back to 50-50 and maybe even favourable to me. But I think in general, just a well-played Ultramarine player is one of the harder matchups for us.
Definitely agree. Out of all the armies in the game, I would agree.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Next up, let's go for let's get another quick and easy one out of the way.
Imperial agents. As in, you don't ever see them, so they can go anywhere we like.
Well, technically, Imperial agents do one thing, which is swarm the board with loads of cheap infantry and just kind of like hang on for dear life. And again, if there's one thing we are not worried about, it is killing.
It's killing lots of infantry.
Yeah, again, if you come across one of these players, you're either in for a really hard game because the guy who just plays that one, or it's just a guy who's just brought him because he likes Inquisition. He's about to get his shit kicked in for 5 games. So we'll play pre-agents there. Good Theo, mate. How are you doing, man? Good to see you in chat. We're just doing a little faction matchup tier list. So then we've got. I'm going to come for Necrons next.
Okay.
I still think Necrons are 50-50, man. Necrons are still good, like they have been for a while. Wraith bricks can still be incredible. Even with the damage output we can bring, Necron Wraiths can still be incredibly hard to put down. When you come across Necron Wraiths, you're basically really praying you brought either that 10-man Marine squad or like a 6-man Death Shroud.
Or the 6-man Death Shroud. And triple DDA is still a very nasty thing to sit.
Silent King is...
Especially in Hypercrypt.
Yeah.
Where they're just picking it up, moving it around, getting lanes, shooting.
Yeah. Silent King's still absolutely brutal, ignoring all modifiers. Is absolutely mental. Real one's hit and wound as well. The army's just good. It has been good all edition. Great. It's a really powerful army with lots of different builds where like Star Shatter is annoying as well. Like Star Shatter is pretty brutal. Like you said, DDAs, because DDA is one of the main units, and that's a really good tool for killing Death Shroud, because turns out flat 4 damage into Death Shroud's pretty good. And then Jimmy comes along and goes, "What about -1 damage, Aiden?" And then you're like, "Yeah, what about the Silent King just ignoring modifiers?" Shut up, Jimmy.
And it's so easy to just tail these units back with attached characters to within 6 of the Silent King.
Yeah, and again, you can't even really win the chip fight at range, because if you shoot 1 HBL drone at Doomsday Act, probably don't one shot it, then it reactive moves behind a building and then heals up. So it's definitely I think this is a matchup where mano a mano, we get in the ring, the better player is probably going to win.
Yep, agreed. Yep.
I don't think there's a definitive they're better than us, we're better than them. I think this is a really strong codex versus another really strong codex. And again, I think once the nerf comes in, we maybe lose a unit, I think it's going to be a really hard game still for both sides. I think we're both one mess up away from... They screw up a 6-unit steep strike and you get into Doomsday Axe, they're going to be in trouble. If you don't get something good off like that, you're going to be in trouble.
If they just regenerate badly or like unfortunately or whatever, like
you have a turn where you go in and just kill that Wraith brick and you bounce because they pass 4 up in ones, you're fucked. But if they have the opposite and they flub a load of 4 up in ones and they lose the entire unit, you're in a great position.
Yeah, I mean, I was really thankful when I played at Leeds, when I played Star Shatter. I was actually really happy I was playing DLC because it was just going in and doing big hits with the Death Shroud, and then Mortarion coming in and doing Mortal Wounds on the end of movement phase, and then Mortal Wounds in which actually stopped a couple of times units being able to regenerate.
Yeah. Aiden, would you rather eat a platter of cheese or play Necrons at one event? I would rather get pegged by Natalie, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say to what you just said there, but of the question from Charles, he's going to have to do both because he has got to eat cheese and he will unfortunately play Necrons at some point.
I think he means me play as Necrons. Yeah, hence why, like, no, I'd rather eat the cheese. I think I couldn't do that to myself.
Yeah, definitely. What about Tau?
Tau, weirdly, I actually think have a pretty good matchup into us on certain builds because their profiles are actually really good at killing elite infantry. They've always been good at killing elite infantry. It shows option 3.
You can have a lulz for that one, Chuck.
So I think Riptides are still good at killing. Like again, flat damage 4 is not something you consistently see, so it's really good at killing our bloat drones. Our bloat drones, our Death Shroud. They have tools. The crisis suits are still really annoying. I think that honestly, I'm going to say it. The biggest problem with Tau Empire right now is the Tau players. They just kind of do the same thing over and over and over again. They have the definition of insanity, Dave. They keep bringing the same lists over and over.
Yep.
And then I do think they have some bad matchups, and that's the thing that keeps them down. in the game. I actually think Tau are actually not as bad as people think. I think the bad matchups are the ones that came down, which is more than Knights. Whereas before we said Blood Angels are really good, but they're struggling because Death Guard exists. I think this is the opposite. I think Tau don't actually struggle in Death Guard, and the stats on Stat Check actually would agree with that. But they really struggle into something like Knights. Really struggle into those high toughness. I think if you bring Taliban, you shit on Tau.
Yeah. So I played. So once again at Leeds, I played Will, who was a really great Tau player. He was playing auxiliary cadre, and I was actually like, if he'd played a normal Tau list, I think I would have that game would have been like, that would have been done. Like, but the fact that he had that with loads more units, with a lot more mobility, more ability to kind of drop out units, like that was a really fun and difficult game. So I actually think in the instance of that not being what maybe the Tau players would think is the best thing to take to put on the table generally in a tournament against Death Guard, I think it actually worked really well.
I agree. So then we've got, let's go for Demons. So Demons, again, it's a pure melee army. We basically just take -1 to hit against it because save doesn't matter. Uppy Downy Boy can actually get stuck on some of our units because, again, every single thing has an in-one. The Uppy Downy Bloodthirster is very annoying until he suddenly can't Uppy, and then you put him Downy for good. So
he's not going anywhere then.
Yeah, killing all the infantry is not an issue. Killing the monsters can be a pain in the ass, but again, we have so many tools to deal with that. We got crit 5s, we got lethal hits on absolutely everything. I'm not super scared about Chaos Demons. I don't know about you, Dave.
No, I think it's get stuck into them, take -1 to hit, and then just wear them down and watch them eventually fail saves.
Yeah, because at some point, something's going to happen in that army. Like, either something's going to fail a charge, or something's going to, not go right for them, and then when those big demons start falling down, like, nothing else is really too threatening for us, so we can just deal with that pretty easily. So, again, yeah, I'm not super concerned about the demons matchup. I think demons themselves are a fine army. I don't think they're particularly bad, but I don't think Death Guard, again, it's a melee army primarily, and Death Guard's always a good matchup there, so I'm going to put them up here. They can just 4-up here, because, again, demons is demons, so I'll put them towards closer of 50-50. But they are, again, I don't think a demon player looks at a matchup and ever wants to go, oh, look, there's Death Guard, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I don't think I look at that matchup and go, I'm not going to try and play the game. I'm intending to.
Yeah, so I think they're not going to have a great time on that one. So let's then go for Tyrannids. Tyrannids is a weird one.
Tyrannids is a weird one. That army's got a lot of toughness. It can put out, it can put out a huge amount of damage. I haven't played the tunneling detachment yet, so I don't know.
It's very good.
Like
it's very good.
I've heard it's very good.
It's very good. The weird thing, Tyrannids are weird. It's such a weird matchup because they've got high toughness, but a lot of their monsters just have saves. Like the Malicept doesn't invuln and stuff, but like the T-Fex is just save. The X-Screen's just save. So if you -1 save them and you get on top of them, you can kill them really easily. They have a lot of lone ups, which are very annoying to deal with. Like, Lictor lone ups are incredibly annoying. Gargoyle screens are the most frustrating jail unit in the game.
Amazing screen.
T-Fexes are actually scary as shit because they fail one invulnerable bloat draw, and that thing is getting one tapped more than likely.
Yeah, this is what's amazing about those is that they can get really 1 or 2 shots and they can miss.
Yeah,
quite a lot of the time. But like you said, it's only one's got to get through, and whatever it's just shot is just evaporated.
Yeah, I actually think because Tyrannids is so deep and so wide, and I've played against it a few times, I think this is genuine a 50-50 matchup. I think a good Nid player can beat Death Guard. I think good Death Guard can beat Nids. Again, we're talking about Death Guard after a nerf. So like right now, you can probably just beat them off pure value and just being a bit silly with it and just beating them on that front. But I think after a nerf, and I think Nids in general are just in a good spot where I wouldn't say Nids have a bad matchup into many things. Knights Nids maybe deal with because they do have problems with toughness 12, apart from like T-Fexes, for example. But again, so I think if you go for like a Taliban build, like just bring like Swift plus 13 everywhere, like cool, the T-Fex has to shoot into 4-up invulnerable Great Unclean Ones, and it does 9 damage on average, so that's still not even half a Great Unclean One's health, so it's just like, meh. But But they have a lot of tools, just like we do. They can go fast movement, high OC. They got the gargoyle screens to jail you. They've got exocrines, which are really good at shooting to stuff like marines and things like that. Maliceps is still good. Non-ems you can paint with.
Yeah.
They still got a lot of good tools, and again, those loan ups are a pain in the ass to deal with at times.
So irritating.
I think this is probably, I was saying before, actually, Leagues of Legends like the mid 50-50 for me. I think this actually might be the actual 50-50 army. I think they have good playing to everything. Pan Knights, maybe that's the one downside here. But I think Nids have, and again, so much ground to play different ways. Invasion Fleet's good. The Tunneling Detachment's good. Even Onslaught.
Great.
I think this is a skill-based matchup. Because we've seen Nids go all the way to the finals. We've seen them literally get to the finals with Josh Roberts in Leeds. So, it's clearly a good army. And if I went against Tyranids, I never feel like I auto-win this, but I never feel like I auto-lose this either. I feel like this is going to be a game.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm going to have 50-50, yeah?
Yep, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we'll go 50-50. Yeah, 50-50 here, yeah.
So I'm gonna rather than just pick one, I'm gonna spin this on its head. Who else do you think out of this lot falls into fresh or deodorant? One of those two categories. Is there someone else in this list that you look at it and go,
Guard?
Someone? Yeah, definitely.
I fucking hate Guard. I hate Guard because a good Guard player who utilizes stuff like screens and makes it really hard to get, who understands. The guard player that understands the concept that a guardsman's life is worth nothing.
Expendable. Yeah, completely.
He will push out 20 blokes a turn to just push you back, ever getting near his tanks. If you
and have got 40 OC.
Yeah, and a 40 OC. People have done the Rogel Dawn spam thing, and I've seen that, and it is incredibly scary. But again, Rogel Dawns, once you connect to them,
they
die. But the guard player that understands the balance of the gun line and the infantry, and then he just screens you out, and then maybe he's brought like that little shitty Scion blob that can get fucked. I hate back when Bridgehead was good, but like they've got some in reserves that you've got to be concerned about, whether that's another tank to get another angle. Vanquishers are also horrifying for the same reason T-Fexes are. Again, lots of things that can potentially one-tap our vehicles if they get through. David Irvin ran 4 Rogel Dawns and 3 Vanquishers and 1 Psychopath. So, yeah, they are, honestly, I think Guard have a bit of a, I got a little bit of a problem with the Tau players, I think, here. Not as much as them, but there's a, I don't have that. Not just that, I think too many of them listen and forget. I think too many of them forget basics. I think too many of them forget fundamentals. They bring tank spam, 4 Rogel Dawns, whatever, and then they get surprised when it's like, oh, I now can't hold objectives, or oh, I'm actually getting charged. But when I come across a list that's like got a balance like between like everything, because they're so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, Guard are too cheap. They are stupidly cheap. They get so much shite. It's so frustrating to play against. But when they're actually doing it right, and they're like, you treat your guardsmen like rations. It's like, I should have 0 by the end of the game. Yes. But I should have spent them in ways that is like move blocking, getting in the way. Like, if I ever see a person not advance the guardsman squad with move because they want to shoot las guns, I will slap them.
Yeah.
You don't have guns.
I would actively tell my opponent not to do that and be like, let's just take that back and do this with it.
Yeah, like, don't worry. If you're shooting, like, if the guy has to die and he's on 1 wound, fair enough. Like, but for God's sake, stop shooting your 40 las guns at my fucking T6 fucking Marines. You're just wasting everyone's time. Oh, I did 1 wound. Save. Oh, like, come on now. But I actually think, I don't know if they're actually going, they brought deodorant, or if they're going to he smells fresh, because
I think that's fair. I think like it's because it's not dependent on a really difficult list conjuring to make it effective. It's just, to your point, it's about using that combination of, which is exactly what it should be, that combination of infantry and armor well together.
Yeah.
So, and if someone does literally throw tons of guardsmen at you turn 1 and is on point and stretching across the board and jailing you effectively with it, and you've got to start chewing your way through it, which means you've got to come out and then he shoots with tanks, you're in trouble.
They have so many tools, so many.
So many guns.
So many guns as well. And they can make, like, they have the ability to jail you, they have the ability to just out-OC you constantly. And then, but you can't just, like, some armies that play like if you think about AdMech, the breaches will kill anything, but if you put your entire army out, they kill, like, 1 unit, maybe 2, like, and then the rest kills them all. But with Guard, like, the guns genuinely fucking hurt. Like, holy shit, like, bang, bang, bang. like you will feel the pain of being shot by like Leon Russ's, a Dawn or two,
Yes.
and even like Kazakin in Torx is still really good. Like
Yep.
Guard have tons of good options. I think people just get too tunnel vision on one way of playing with them. And that sometimes that's narrative, and that's totally fine. If someone's there and they're like, "Hey, I want to bring 4 Ogredons because I just like tanks," nothing wrong with that. You go ahead.
Yeah, completely.
But I feel like that book is again one of those that is so deep that I am so amazed whenever we see copy paste lists for Guard because there's such a book there. I was doing a list analysis of VT recently, and someone brought Recon Company. They're going to teams, and they've brought like 50 cavalry and like a bajillion infantry. And when I looked at it, I was like, if this person gets first and I was against them, I'm never leaving deployment ever.
Yep. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do against this?
What'd you do?
But I've never seen that list before because no one's ever brought it. Like, don't worry, no one owns that many horses, pal. This one, motherfucker. But well done, motherfucker.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. So like, I think it's a really strong book, and the win rate for that one is another one that is deceiving. I think that's just because there's a lot of fluff players that just play Guard because they want to reenact what they read in the stories. But
they want to just take loads of tanks, and that's totally cool.
yeah, I think that is one of the harder matchups though for us, definitely.
Agreed.
So much tough
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I might put it into their body just to piss them off.
Yeah, but I think it is. I think put them in Daybought deodorant.
I'm gonna put it there just to annoy him. And again, this is we're talking after a Death Guard nerf. I've never had an easy game versus a Guard player, apart from like when they're clearly just being a Mong and just being like 500 infantry go, and I'm just like, cool, yeah, fair. Right, okay, we're coming to the end of this now, so it won't be too much longer. So let's go for Gene Stealer Cults. This army is being slept on so horrifically.
Yes.
They are so scary. Oh my god, the damaged output of this army. When I played against it, I won because of a single dice roll, Dave. On turn 1, he rolled a 1 on an advance. He needed a 2 to get onto an objective and take it off me. And then he re-rolled it and a CP and rolled a 1 again. So I got to keep that primary for a turn. By the end of the game, I won by 4.
Yep.
Literally.
That'll be scary.
There is so much stuff. If you leave a single, you have to play perfectly. Apparently, there is a way to play against this army, and like once you know it, it's not too bad. But when you don't know it, oh my god! Cause I need to learn it. I'm gonna go get lessons from fucking Innes Wilson. I'm gonna go talk to him because there is so much stuff. It pops up. You will kill half his deployed army and feel really great about it, and then realize he's just spent all these resurrection points and they're all back. And then,
and I think the other thing is, and the other thing I was going to say about it is that we've talked about average player versus average player. Average players are not playing Gene Stealer Cult.
Yeah.
If you run into someone running this, be immediately on your guard.
Yeah.
Because that person is going to be good.
I played against Andy Mitten back when he was playing AdMech, and that was a fairly comfortable game. And he wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't like a hard game. He's been practicing Gene Stealer Cult a lot. And he's been managing his cult a lot. Holy shit, it shows. That man now terrifies me. I don't want to parent him anymore. I do. He was lovely. It was a lovely game. But that man was hungover as shit, almost vomiting out his asshole, and still I almost lost it. I was like, oh my god. This army is not okay. It genuinely did nerf. Like, the fact he brought 5 20-man bricks, all of which kill anything they look at, and you constantly have to be aware of 6-inch screening and things like that. I actually think this might even come into... You can potentially just disrespect it and run it, which is what I had to do. But even by the end, I don't have much left.
It's in they bought deodorant 100%.
It's, again, we're talking about the average player, and the average player that is playing this one is
high skilled.
I don't think you put them on a clock, Chuck, because I spent more time in my turn worrying about what he could do than what he was actually considering doing. I think I'd have clocked myself out if I did that. So I think that's actually a hard matchup, I'm not going to lie. Especially, again, if we talk about after a nerf, because we're definitely getting nerfed, they might dodge it. If they dodge it, oh my god, I don't want this matchup. I think they'll go to top tier.
Yep.
The one thing that GC do not like, admittedly, is very fast rundown melee. And that's the reason they're doing so well at the moment, because World Eaters, Blood Angels, we're keeping them out the game.
You just pen them in and screen out the board.
Yeah. So actually...
If you can do that, you're okay.
Yeah, so actually, GC Cult's becoming good. Actually could be good for us, because then Blood Angels and World Eaters become good, and then we're good into them, so we become full circle. I did full yeet. I deployed everything on the board, Chuck, and I ran at him. And again, I killed so much stuff. I was in his home objective, and I still only won by 4 points. Because the hardest thing is, even if you're killing them all, you've got so many 5-man squads that just can pop up And again, they love challenger cards. Like, you put them behind early because you're being super aggressive. They just challenger card your ass. And then they pop it up and score on the secondaries because you can't 6-inch steep strike the entire board. You can't screen it out. It's impossible unless you're playing like Shamble or something. So it's winnable, but holy shit, it's
you've got to be on your game every turn, like, to play against that army if the person is so.
Yeah.
And just Aiden talking about challenger cards there. I want to shout out Jack Harpster on Art of War. Go and check out his video. I think it's called Jack Reviews or something. He's done a brilliant. It's a 45-minute video. It's on challenger cards. It is the best explanation of why challenger cards are a problem in the game that I've seen anywhere. So if you're wondering why we're talking about challenger cards being an issue at all at any point, I just recommend hop over to Art of War and check out that video because it's excellent.
Yeah, that is a great video. I agree with everything he said. That's a good point, Necros. I could just turn my brain off and just punch more. And again, this tier list is pure. Again, tier lists are completely subjective, but this is just a question of if I came up to the board table, I got my pairing in my hand. This is how I'm feeling about every matchup, and Dave roughly. And there'll be some differences between me and Dave between these, but these are just roughly. Doesn't mean you auto lose. There's no such thing as an auto lose, really. The dice are dice at the end of the day. Like,
yeah.
But these are like the armies I'm scared of the most. Like, I never want to see myself against these armies. I don't like going against these armies. Oh, well, Space Marines depends if it's actually a good player. If it's a bad player, then that goes to bungulated. But
it's all of these. You run into the wrong player who's a master of that, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble against any of these armies.
Yeah,
if they're that good.
So then we're coming to the last few now. Let's go. Dark Angels. I'm not too fussed about Dark Angels. I think they're advantages. Like, Deathwing Knights are scary until you hit them with sweeps, with lance, lethal, sustained 5s, anti-infantry flamers.
And if you're playing full rerolls, 10 plate Marines hopping out a Rhino, that unit is going away regardless because they fail saves and there's just too much damage.
And then someone brings along the Lion, and then for a single turn, they dare select the aura that isn't the 4-up versus Feel No Pain versus Mortal Wounds, and he drops him down, and you go, Typhus, Grenade, Stank Shot, game! Just launch him to the fucking stratosphere. It's like fucking, what do you call it? It's like Smash Bros. When you combo someone, instantly just game out of here.
And also with the Lion, it's like he's not that, hasn't got that high toughness. Yes, he gets the 3-up on that stuff, but you roll enough into him, and he does go away quite quick.
Yeah, and you don't stand back out like Gilman, he just falls over. He's like, cool. Lion, go back to bed in the rock at that point. Again, we have tools to deal with Deathwing Knights. Inner Circle Companions, if they take the character, give them a 4-up invulnerable, become a little bit annoying, but then you don't have to fight first, and then you just kill them with weight of dice. And if they do take the fight first character, then they don't have an invulnerable, in which case they have to come out at some point, and then you shoot them with a heavy blight launch drone, and the flat damage 3 just kills the entire squad. Like, I'm not even fussed. The new Dark Angels attachment, it's decent, but it's not great. Lance counters the -1 to wound on the charge with Death Shroud, so you murder them. We have lethal hits and everything, and crit 5s and everything, so weighted dicing people down isn't that big of an issue. And because we make them toughness 3, a lot of our stuff just wounds them on 2s anyway, so going from 2s to 3s is not as big as a deal as going from 3s to 4s. I'm not scared of Dark Angels when I come across them. Again, obviously there'll be great players, Toby Bennett for example, that instantly goes to a 50-50. But again, average player skill, like if I see Dark Angels, I'm not really scared about it. Compared to like some of the other factions.
And also, if they just don't have enough, like Inner Circle or Deathwing Knights, then it's going to crumble anyway.
Deathwing Knights are expensive.
If they've got tons of them, then it becomes a harder fight.
Deathwing Knights and the Lion in being in the same list is like 600 points right there, so it's like instantly that makes the game a lot more manageable. Because you can just outvalue them. Now, Space Wolves, though, I actually think it's probably the hardest match for the Marines because their ability to bring 4-up invulnerables and also do jaily things. I think
and they're fast.
And high OC, like Grey Hunters have a lot of OC. I actually think Grey Hunters is 50-50. I think the better player will win this game. They got pretty decent output. The 4-up invulnerables mean that your -1 save is not as impactful as it is into all the other armies. All the other Marine armies have quite a lot of non-invuln units. These guys can genuinely spam every single unit to have an invulnerable. Thunderwolf Cavalry, Wolfram with Storm Shields, Head Takers, the new Terminators with Logan and now, whatever you want. So, I think these guys are 50-50. They have a lot of good OC control. They can have a lot of melee power output. But at the same time, they do die. Again, you can put a lot of wounds on them quite easily. So, I haven't played against them too much recently, the new ones. So, we'll have to see in the coming weeks. Their best attachment seems to be one that gives them lethal hits, which is like pretty good, obviously, against us. But at the same time, we can't say that instantly changed the game because we have lethal hits on everything as well, and we had it in Index, and like it's good, but it's not like as game breaking as people think to have lethal hits and everything.
No. Agreed. I'm happy with that there. T-Sons?
T-Sons actually can be tough. I think that goes into He Smells Fresh.
I think yeah. Because also this has got the same thing of Gene Stealer Cults. There's not a lot of them on the table right now, and if someone is running them because they've been playing it for a long time, so I think as an average, you're playing a better tier caliber of player if they're playing T-Sons.
Yeah. Also, those bow goats can get in the fucking bin. I hate them things.
Yeah. If they're running a million goats, then yeah, it's like a bad day at the farm.
Ugh, they're such an awful unit with a Lone Up 18 as well. Also, as an answer to Mortari's hammer at Lone Up 18, which is annoying. But yeah, they deal a ton of damage. They still have a good amount of mortal output. They deal actually a ridiculous amount of damage. They can actually hit incredibly hard. Like killing your units is not an issue for them. Main thing at the moment is just out trading because we're under cost. But again, if we're talking about after we get a nerf, I think Thousand Suns could become quite a problem. They have movement tricks as well to get around things like Overwatch because they can move in the shooting phase to get out and shoot you instead because it's double mover unit. They have all the tools they need to beat Death Guard. And again, it's a matchup when I come across it, I'm not looking forward to the game. I'm like, oh, this could be tough, this one. But at the same time...
Magnus is a problem.
Magnus is a problem. But at the same time, these guys are also still one mistake away from losing the game.
Yes.
Like, one failed double move, 1 6-inch deep strike that they forgot to screen out. They're going to have a bad time against it. So, I still think advantage is in their field, but it's not unwinnable by any metric. I don't know if you feel any different on that one, or if you're the same.
No, good summary. I think that I agree with you, mate.
Yeah, just watch out for them, because they do a lot of damage, like a ridiculous amount of damage.
If you can get the jump on them, then like it will swing the other way very rapid.
Yeah, Chaos Space Marines, man, Chaos Space Marines are weird. I would actually have this army in 50-50 because Chaos Space Marines can hit so hard. It's so deep. Some people show up with the weirdest fucking list. You're like, what the hell is that? But it actually works. But at the same time, a lot of people who play CSM just aren't, just playing like Night Lords or something like that. So you could get free wins, but I never feel comfortable against a Chaos Space Marine player because they have such absurd damage output.
Yes.
Especially when it's stuff like stupid Abaddon near a Vindicator with sustained hits and full rerolls on the Overwatch. And you're like, cool, he shot me on Overwatch and got 8 hits. Please make this make sense.
Everything.
Yeah.
And And I don't care if I fail it. Honestly.
Thank you. No,
I think that's I think it's a really deep army. It's got so many options in it. Like you said, people can bring stuff you're not used to seeing. It's got large damage output. So, I think it is a problem.
Yeah, I think it's player skill because the thing is with CSM as well is they are fragile. They're not tough units to kill. They will fall over. They have to understand tempo and spacing things out. I think a good CSM player that book is still good. It genuinely is still good. I'm not really sure why so many people have left it. I won't lie. I think it's just because people want to play the more God-focused legions as well. I think there's a bit more flavor in them than generic Chaos Space Marines. But there is still a lot of power. But even the cultist spam list is still really good. Really good. Because there's that's still doing really well at the moment. So I again, if I come across CSM, I don't feel particularly sad about the matchup, but I don't feel great about the matchup. I'm just like, cool, this is going to be a game, like I said. Just like the others on this list, like if I forget any of these, I'm feeling like, okay, it's game time on. If Necrons have brought monoliths, so that makes me cry, but again, that's dead build, thank God. Last but not least, Deathwatch.
I mean, I haven't seen it for...
Should we just make a who cares tier?
Yeah, basically. I don't even know.
Hang on, I'm going to make a new tier. Like. I'm just going to put who? I'm just going to put Deathwatch and Imperial Agents in it.
D for Deathwatch. I know W for who knows.
Yeah, it's like,
and what about, I guess, the one that's missing, right, is Emperor's Children.
Yes, so Emperor's Children, I actually think, given the recent nerfs, it goes almost into like... It goes into either Ori or Bungulated.
I think if you are playing Emperor's Children, once again, I think you probably know what. Hopefully, people know what they're doing with it. I would say it's probably Oreo.
Yeah, I think Empress. Can I like just make a new icon or something? Is that something I can do?
Oh, we're all happy. We're all friends here. We know it's there.
There we go. I can choose a file. Give me a second. I'll choose a file. But yeah, I mean, have you got any thoughts actually on the Deathwatch at all? I know it's a bit of a weird one because
No, literally, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it on the table since some point in the middle of ninth. I don't think, like or late ninth. So I don't. That's for me to play against.
I'm tell you what, people kicked up a real fuss about that army when it got taken away, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like
when it.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean when it had what was it what was the ammo it had?
The Hellfire ammo. Where it's like everything was on twos.
And it was and then it destroyed everything, and then it was alive for 2 weeks. It got basically buried.
Yeah.
And then nobody played it ever again.
Yeah. But they sure were angry about it when they lost it.
It's a shame because there was a guy at my club who was a great Deathwatch player and was doing really really well in it. But yeah, just I don't know anyone that plays it.
If I was to give it an honest thing, so I have played against it like once. They can do a ton of damage. They have uppy downy. Like they have a lot of tools that are scary for us to deal with. The biggest problem again being that their squads are large and expensive because their locked like size is quite a bit more, and they need to be big squads to get strat efficiency. Which means like when you get a good charge on them to like get into damage and kill stuff, like you can murderize it pretty easy. Because again, a lot of it is just 3-up saves.
3-up saves. Yeah.
The uppy downy is annoying. If I was to give it a serious one, if I'm talking about the average player skill, it might even be a 50-50 because it's got the mobility, it's got the Stoic Marine shooting output with plus like crazier output, but at the same time, like, who the fuck is playing it?
Who's playing it?
So if I do run across someone playing it, it probably is actually scary. But at the same time, like, who the fuck is playing it?
That's fair enough, but tell me we play, 4 Super Majors a year each, probably. I haven't seen, when looking through lists, like a Deathwatch list in this entire edition. I don't think.
I had one on my team for a teams event. He was on my team, but part of that I've not seen them fucking ever. So,
but I do agree with you. I think if I went to a super major and I got paired into it, I would assume the person was good with it.
Yeah, but yeah, as Dispaladin said then, when they get some new things added in, we might see actually some, like, some new models, maybe we see some bit more input in here. But as it is right now, again, if I was to come across an actual good player on it, it probably is 50-50 game. But for the memes, I'm going to keep them up in who, because again, who the fuck actually plays that faction? I genuinely don't know. So yeah, that is every faction in there, Mr. Dave. So just over an hour and a half there to get through it. Sorry to pick up a little bit of pace at the end there. Me and Dave do have a tendency to waffle. We do like talking. We like interacting with the chat.
We do like talking.
We do, and we like interacting with the chat as well, and having you guys here and having your guys have you saying, having a bit of fun jokes between us. So if you want to take a picture of that, go shove it on Reddit so get us some farmers some views. I'll happily appreciate that.
Some aggro.
Yeah, I'll get some aggro. Yeah. That'd be fine. If you want, also if someone wants to go back to the original start and then clip where they're all imbonculated, that'd be really funny.
We should actually use that. We should actually use that as a thumbnail for the just for real clickbait.
But yeah, I mean, I still think we're in a great position. We don't have too many horrific matchups to deal with. I think even after a nerf, we're still going to be in a good position because our book's nice and deep. I think we have places to go. Again, if the meta goes to a place where everyone's taking to kill mass infantry, Taliban and Mortarian is looking real good, Dave. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not joking. I might take Hammer to LGT.
Okay,
I've written a horrible list.
Okay, I'd be very interested about that one. I'd be interested to see that. I don't know. I'm going to take it to LGT. So I have an event in August at Element Games again, and the people have voted for me to take Taliban. But if I take Taliban there, I can't take Taliban to LGT. So I'm wondering if, because that means to LGT I've got to take either fucking Shamble Rot or Mortarian's Hammer. So I'm wondering if people would rather see me take Taliban to London and take something else to the next one. We'll have to let chat decide on that one. And see how that goes along. Someone's asking what the list is. Are you ready to reveal the list yet, Mr. David?
I can tell you what it is. It's no worries. I mean, it's a very classic. It's a very classic me kind of approach. As everyone knows, I don't tend to go for well balanced lists. I tend to go for stuff that's pretty horrendous. So my current Mortarian's hammer thinking is basically mega shooting death. So it is. Sorry, I'm just trying to cover myself while it actually loads up. It's a Lord of Virulence with Tendrilless emissions. It's a Chaos Predator Destructor with autocannon and blight launchers. Sorry, blight launchers. I wish heavy bolters. It's triple heavy blight launcher drone, triple blight hauler, triple plague burst crawler, one with a spitters for sitting on kind of home and hovering around. 20 pox, 10 pox, 10 pox, and a double battle cannon despoiler. So it's basically a complete. I'm going to throw some poxwalkers out onto places, and if you come out to try and deal with them, you're just going to get annihilated by a million guns from direction. And I can reach the entire board at all times with plague burst crawlers and the double battle cannon things. And I'm re-rolling hit roll for almost everything in my army. So I'm thinking of playing that at the moment, which I think would just be very, very, very nasty. But I think given I was a very good boy and played, the only DLC list at a super major, and was very pleased with the way that went. Don't get me wrong, I might still take DLC. I also might take DLC again to LGT because I really enjoy it. It's me kind of list. But
it was a fun detachment.
I wrote that list and was just like, oh god, this feels just really, really horrible, and it's LGT, so.
That's fair. Yes, the yearly visit from my local ice cream man has decided to show up, and apparently the stream heard that somehow, even though that's
Oh, nice.
I'm at the back of the house, and he's coming down the street at the front, so somehow they all heard him. The power of the microphone, eh? So, unfortunately, no ice cream for me. I've already had a lemon tart tonight, so I can't treat myself to double, even though I clearly happily would. So, yeah, I think that's going to bring us to the end here. So, anything you wish to say, Mr. Dave, before we head off?
Just a couple of things. As always, thank you everybody who tuned in tonight. It was really great. I loved the interaction of the chat. It was really good to hear what everyone thought about as we were going, and also not too much pushback really, I think, against what we were kind of suggesting on here. And to use a bit more of a corporate term, what's kind of interesting here is there's a bit of a bell curve to this, which is kind of how you would expect a split of kind of information to be like. It's kind of that's quite nice. Just check out our friends over at Vanguard Tactics YouTube and get free battle reports. You can they're opening up the academy scene. If you want to get a better grasp of the fundamentals of 40k, go check that out. Masterclasses as well. If you want coaching, you can get coaching from our very own, he's down below me, our very own coaching from our very own Aiden over here. To get Death Guard coaching from, you can pick up from him. We have got our store, drpstore.com. Thank you to the people who ordered recently. I've actually got a bit of time now between a couple of jobs, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to revamp the store and just do some updates to it, and I'll be liaising in the background with Aiden and Will about some bits to go on there. So do keep an eye on that, and that's drpstore.com. Go to Baron of Dice if you want to pick up, if you're in the US particularly, to pick up some dice and get them shipped to you. What I would say is if you are in Europe or you're in the UK, I do actually have still a few sets of dice of rounded and square with me here that I can post from the UK. So I got Baron of Dice to ship some to me just to make it easier on that front. So if you do that, hit me up on the Discord and we can help you out there. Go to Soltar Games to check out for gaming aids and support elements there. So measurement sticks, kind of reminders of what phase you're in, markers, etc. Aiden, anything more? Games?
I think you. Oh yeah, I'll do Will's job. So if you want some models to go and smash your opponent, like you can go to Element Games and like you don't get any extra savings or anything, but it does help the channel. So go check them out if you fancy it.
Like Will was here.
I'm not tall enough. I have to make myself really tall for that.
Good job.
Also, Stephen says, it was Boxy's birthday yesterday. Did you get him a cake? So I live on the opposite end of the country to Boxy, so I didn't. What's your excuse, Dave?
My excuse is that we all just sent massive happy birthdays to him in our Vanguard channel, and also you live at the other end of the country to him. I'm about 3-hour drive from him, so he's practically on the other end of the country for me too.
Other end of the countries.
Just to de-heart anything in the US, if you go to Baron of Dice, the link is in the description below. You can pick up the dice directly from those guys, and they can just ship to you inside continental US. So that's really good from that front. Actually, there's one other thing to add, which is quite fun. If you guys go and check out Play on Tabletop, you might notice Tycho has just played a game of the Colosseum with a character with a Lord of Contagion, who's funnily enough called Death Guard Dave.
Oh yeah, I actually watched that. And Death Guard did some fucking work.
Yeah, he did.
He
Yeah,
didn't start off great.
No, he didn't, but he definitely finished well.
He did finish well. He
warming
warmed up. Yeah, warming up exactly. And then last but not least, obviously, leave a like and a subscribe, because if you don't like it, every single matchup will be a GSC one trick from here on out. So if you don't want that to happen, you best click that little thumbs up button.
Comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. It's gonna be like a disease that just like, or you just ring like tinnitus, but you just keep hearing like, comment, subscribe in your ear. Other end of the country, in American terms, you're only 15 minutes drive from away, and that's too far. 15 minutes is a commitment, okay? Like that's not nipping to the shop. That's like going to see your mum, like distance. That, 15 minutes is nah. You strange Americans can enjoy your multiple hour cross county journeys. Me and Dave will nip to the shop in 5 minutes, and that's about it.
I'll have you know that I used to have around 4.5 hour commute to work. So like that's commitment, not just 50 minutes down the road. But you're right, in America, you guys are like, oh yeah, cool. We'll just drive 2.5 hours and that's down the road. But the other thing I was going to say was just about Tycho, because someone in the comments said they love Tycho. He and I DM back and forth quite a bit. He is going to come back on the show as well, because we said we'd have a kind of follow-up strategies talk about Death Guard and the meta and how it's all kind of shaken out. So yeah, like look out for that again soon. And I've got a few other guests lined up. So Joe from War Games Live has agreed to come on. Which will be a really fun one, just to hear about someone whose literal life is driving between events, streaming them, watching how the events shake out, how players are. I'm really looking forward to that one. I think that'll be a really fun chat.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Looking forward to that one indeed. And very, very last thing here, Last Criminal, thank you for the $2.79 Canadian super chat. Shamble Rock to London. It looks like it's going to be that. So if I have to play 150 Poxwalkers for 8 games straight, because I'll be going to the doubles as well. Yeah,
I'll see. That's going to be fun, because Aiden and I have never been on the other sides of the table.
No,
a major. But I think we could end up on the other sides of the table at the
and hopefully
doubles.
not if this tier list anything to go by, because actual hell. All right. So for now, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We should catch you all on the next one. I'll be doing a plague surgery tomorrow, so tune in for that if you remember to get your list reviewed. And on that note, catch you all next time. Stay rotten, and bye-bye.
See you later, guys.
See you later. I can never find the button there.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Great wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The Death God transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The Legion reborn, their fate revealed. Lies in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance gates of retreat. Through breach and ruin their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Dragon's blade meets the blade born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Blade-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born, Mortarian's wrath, the plague sworn. In the one, their legacy thrives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song. It never ends.